Coach Mazzoni. Hope all is well. Welcome to D1 Pitching Mechanics, and this is our 10th and final tip on kind of the mental part of pitching, our philosophies, mental philosophies, if you will, on pitching outside of mechanics. Okay, and sort of make a 10A and 10B, if you will, here at the end. One is that don't give the hitter too much credit. Okay, it sounds silly, but if you think about in your team, your own hitters, the other teams in your league, all the other teams, at your age, how many guys on the other side scare the absolute life out of you? How many guys are you afraid that if you truly throw strikes to them, they are going to pummel the ball over the fence? They're just going to crush. And the answer is either none to maybe one a team, two on a great team. Most hitters aren't that good. Hitting is very difficult. I learned this after years and years and years of batting practice, where I'd be standing 40 feet away and just trying to serve them up at one speed down the middle, and a lot of guys get themselves out. And then a lot of guys hit the ball directly to my defense. Rarely do guys crush the ball even at 60 miles an hour, and we do one of our hitting rounds where I get to mix things up a little bit, and once I start to do that, I realize, boy, hitting gets really tough for a lot of these guys, right? And on my college team right now, we have one devastating hitter where in a big situation, I just walk that dude. Dude, you're great. There you go. Okay, so if you're at age 12 and there's a kid on the other team who look like he's been shaving since 8 years old and he's 6'4", 220, and you see him dropping bombs, or you know his reputation, hate to admit it, we say, sir, you're very good at this sport. I'm going to nibble the corners and throw a bunch of change-ups, and maybe you'll pop out. If not, I'll walk you. There's nothing wrong with that. I see absolutely nothing wrong with that. To everybody else, we compete and battle and challenge, and we should not give hitters too much credit because it's a hard thing to do. As is said, it's the hardest thing to do in sports is hit a baseball, and yet when we're the ones delivering that baseball, we forget that. We forget that it's very difficult with a round ball and a round bat to square the thing up and hit it solidly every time. So back to my first point of we have the ball and we're in attack mode. Realize that hitting is very, very difficult, okay? The second piece is, let me remember. The second piece is that the best pitchers, the very best of pitchers, have this one thing in common. They compete. Well, you might say that's obvious. Everybody competes. Everybody wants to win. Everybody competes. To them, it's different than just wanting to win. It's totally different. They want to win, but what they want to do is they want to compete. And that means that if they're a 4-pitch guy and they got all 4 that day, you're in trouble because any 4 of those are coming on any count at any time. If their arm doesn't feel great that day and they can't, and 2 pitches are out of their arsenal because they're just not throwing well and their arm doesn't feel good, they're still going to compete. If you told them they had to battle with just their fastball, they're going to finesse their way through of making the ball move and throw hard and take something off and set hitters up. They're going to compete. They want the ball and they're going to compete over and over again. And how do you develop that skill if you don't have it? You compete as much as you can all the time playing any sport. Competition is the best. That's why everything I ever do with my college team goes like this. So for example, we would do fundamentals. So let's say I have infielders. We might have gloves off and we're doing very detailed fundamental drills for the techniques of fielding a ground ball. That's not the way it is in a game. I don't roll them a ball 5 feet away in a game with no glove on. It's a skill development drill. That would lead to maybe some short fungos, not the way it is in a game. That might lead to some long fungos, kind of the way it is in a game, right? And they take a lot of reps from a full fungo, or maybe even live off the bat. But then we'd end with a competition. And I might do something like, I'm going to hit 10 ground balls to each infielder. Whoever keeps the most off the outfield grass wins, whatever it might be. It might be a wristband. It might be the other guys have to carry him around the bases. Who knows what it is. They love it. We all love it. We all love sports because we love to compete. So the more you can compete in your strength and conditioning and your anything that you do, you play basketball, play football, play soccer, play tennis, play golf, compete. Make practice a competition constantly. They love to compete. So if you can set up all your drills, all your practices, talk to your coach about competition. The more you compete in a practice setting, the more you want to compete in the game. and you'll battle through and get people out regardless of what team you're facing, what your stuff is, whether it's you're up 10-0, down 10-0, your team's 10-0 record, 0-10, it's irrelevant. You just want to compete and get that guy out. So I hope you enjoyed this series of the 10 mental approaches, the 10 philosophies of pitching outside of mechanics to improve your game. This is Coach Mazzoni, pitching coach at Sacred Heart University, and for D1 Pitching Mechanics. And if you have any questions, any feedback,